Ink Ribbon. The Metal Gear Solid series is one that has some of the most innovative and memorable bosses in video game history. Today on Ink Ribbon, I want to show some love to the best bosses that the series has to offer. If you haven't played all the games in the series, there might be some serious spoilers, so you've been warned. These are the top 10 bosses in Metal Gear Solid.
Number 10.
Vulcan Raven, Metal Gear Solid 1. Back in the days of the PS1, things like destructible environments and immersive gameplay were rare, but this fight with Raven brought both. Late in the game, you end up in a freezing cold cargo room laid out like a labyrinth and encounter Vulcan Raven for the second time. Wielding a gigantic Gatling gun, the kind normally mounted on Harrier jets, he angrily stomps around after Snake, firing at the crates and destroying them as he searches for you. What's cool about this fight, aside from the aesthetic and the cat and mouse feeling, is you get various options on how you want to take him out. You can go full force with missiles, toss grenades, or leave a trail of claymore mines and wait for him to step on them.
Number 9.
FatMan, Metal Gear Solid 2. This bomb-loving psychopath is probably the only boss I've ever seen in a game that rollerblades around you while you try to kill him. There's a lot of fun to be had with this boss fight. Like Raven, you have many options on how you want to take him out, though occasionally he will help you out by slipping and falling on bird poop, tripping and falling from lack of skating ability, and he will take breaks to set bombs for you to find and disable before they blow up the whole big shell.
Number 8.
The Sorrow, Metal Gear Solid 3. This boss fight is kind of an exception to the rule. It's not so much a fight as it is a really messed up ride. The Sorrow is already dead, and Snake is sort of there, but sort of not. You spend the battle wading through a river of dead fish and encounter every single person you've killed in the game. So, if you were really stealthy and merciful, the fight would be over pretty quickly. But if you're like me and kill everyone you come across, then the fight can be very long. You also have to dodge a ghost tentacle. Yes, I said ghost tentacle. Otherwise, it'll make Snake have some sort of epileptic Vietnam flashback. Once you reach the end, you find Sorrow's skeleton, and then you die. Or do you?
Number 7.
The End, Metal Gear Solid 3. Here's another interesting battle that really stands out in the series. If you enjoy sniping, then you can take out the End, but good luck finding him. He is really good at camouflaging himself. He also has a parrot/best friend who will fly around and tell him where you are if it spots you, so that's pretty straightforward, but there's something cool. He won't kill you. Instead, he uses tranquilizer rounds. If he does knock you out, he will carry you back to the jail and wait for you to come back. Now the best part. If you save the game and stop playing for a week, when you come back to fight, he will die of old age. And then he'll blow up.
Number 6.
Metal Gear Rex, Metal Gear Solid. The big encounter with Metal Gear Rex towards the end of MGS1 is epic. While it isn't particularly difficult, it's definitely memorable. This is a moment where Snake either saves the world or dies on Shadow Moses Island. With some help from Gray Fox, Snake is able to defeat it, only to have a lot of stuff happen that I won't spoil for anyone, followed by a second, more visceral battle. It's an emotional, vengeful, and dramatic battle, but it's not the end for Snake.
Number 5.
Hind D, Metal Gear Solid. When it's one man versus a Russian attack helicopter, the result should be obvious. But when that one man is Solid Snake, it's a whole different story. After barely surviving a barrage of missiles, rappelling down the side of a building while being shot at, chased by a small army of guards, and climbing up 50 flights of stairs, Snake finally finds a Stinger missile launcher and goes up against Liquid, who is piloting the Hind. With every hit you land, Liquid gets increasingly angry and uses everything he can to take you out. Unfortunately, it's not enough, and he goes down in a fiery explosion. Or so it seems.
Number 4.
Metal Gear Battle, Metal Gear Solid 4. This was a huge moment for fans of the series. I'm talking crying with a boner kind of moment. After returning to Shadow Moses and going on a nostalgic trip through the island, you finally end up at Metal Gear Rex's resting place. With the help of Otacon, you are able to not only start it back up, but pilot it through waves of enemies and destroy everything in your path, utilizing all the power and fury that Rex has to offer. Then, as if that wasn't cool enough, Liquid Ocelot emerges from the ocean, piloting a Metal Gear Ray, and an all-out battle begins. It starts innocently enough with missile attacks, bullets, and melee attacks, but quickly turns to carnage as you use Metal Gear Rex to literally bite and rip Ray's limbs off, while Ray tries to use its laser cutter to slice Rex apart.
Number 3.
Cyborg Ninja-MGSI Solid. No guns, no bombs, no blades. After encountering him throughout the game, you finally go head to head with the mysterious Cyborg Ninja who is obsessed with fighting Snake to the death. You spend this battle using only your fists and fight like honorable men. If you try to use a weapon, he will retaliate with an appropriate attack and mock you. He uses his talents to do everything from teleport to play hide and seek with you. As you fight him, you are destroying the office all around you with glass and computer parts flying everywhere. Once his health is depleted, he begins to glitch and freak out. A few bullets and the fight is over.
Number 2.
Sniper Wolf, Metal Gear Solid. Maybe this is just a personal preference on my part, but I absolutely loved the boss battles with Sniper Wolf. Trying to save Meryl while fighting off a deadly but beautiful killer, you have to use a newly acquired sniper rifle to take her out. It's a pretty straightforward fight, but it's the second fight that takes it up to a new level. You encounter her again in a snowfield during blizzard conditions. Now, people don't seem to understand how difficult it is to use a sniper rifle in a snowstorm, but it is. As you battle, she runs between trees, ducks behind mounds of snow, and all the while you're both battling for your lives. The battle concludes with what I deem the most emotional part of the game and sets a very serious tone for the rest of the game.
Number 1.
Psycho Mantis, Metal Gear Solid. Okay guys, you all knew this was going to be number 1. How could it not? If you were too young to have played this back in the PS1 days, I assure you it was one of the most mind-blowing, legendary things in gaming for the time. You're casually watching a cutscene as Mantis talks about being able to read your mind, blah blah blah, when suddenly, out of nowhere, he says, "You like to play Castlevania." And oh my god, I still get goosebumps remembering my first reaction. He then continues to show you his power by telling you to set your controller down, and then he freaking moves it across the floor. Back in the day, this was insane. Then during the battle, after he makes you think your TV is messed up, you quickly realize that you cannot hurt him because he knows everything you're thinking. Eventually the colonel calls you and tells you to put the controller into port 2 because he's reading your controller's moves. Best use of hardware ever. Thank you, Kojima. And that's it for this list. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you think I missed any bosses that should be on this list, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more gaming videos. I'm Kai Morgan, and as always, thanks for watching Ink Ribbon.